Pwede naman i-record ko na lang siguro siya. Walang iba.
Yung mga sir.
Yung video.
Pwede po sir.
Para double one. Double
Sir.
Sige. Ready na lang tayo. Shalom Aleichem. Magandang hapon sa lahat. Good afternoon to all who are listening. This is our session number 12 ng Sha'ar Habitakon in the classic work of Rabbeinu Bakya ibn Pakuda, who is a sage who lived 1,000 years ago. So this is from the teachings of our teacher, Rabbi Michael Skovbach, and to be presented by yours truly, Nagid of Binay Nowak Congregation, Philippines. So, before we start, as we usually do, we always dedicate the zikhot or the merit of our study to the refuah shlema, to the immediate healing of those who are sick. If you know of somebody, ating isipin ang kanilang mga pangalan at i-dedicate natin yung kanilang madaliang paggagaling sa kanilang mga karamdaman. And for ourselves, we always ask our Creator from Hashem that we should be able to understand the teachings from His Torah, and that will benefit our soul, and that we will develop spiritually towards our goal of becoming a kasidi umut haulam, or a righteous among the nations. So, last meeting we've discussed about the first 4 worldly benefits of having trust in God. So now Rabbeinu Bakya will introduce us to the 5th worldly benefit, which is that a person who has betachon or trust in the Creator, our God, will be happy regardless of any circumstance that God places them, even if this is not what they expect or it go against their own personality. So this is because a person who has true and complete trust in God, the Creator, believes that He does what is best for him. So they believe that the situation or place they are in, or where are they now, is the best of what the Creator would like to place them upon. Wherever they are, so that is where the Creator will want them to be. So there might be something in that place where they could learn, or that they would be able to improve their character. So there was something that will take place, no? Maraming mangyayari doon sa lugar na yon, or mangyayari sa lugar na yon, that is for the purpose of improvement of their character. So not all things that feels or taste good is actually good for us. And there are things that doesn't feel or taste good, which are actually good for us. For example, medicine often tastes bad for a child, but actually it's good for him, because medicine is intended para gumaling siya, no? So kahit na masama yung lasa ng gamot, pero ito ay nakakabuti sa isang bata. Pero akala nung bata is because it doesn't taste good, it is bad. In the book of Psalms, chapter 131, verse 2, King David said, "Surely I've calmed and quieted myself like a wine child with his mother. My soul is like a nursing child." So we now know that King David lived a very, very difficult life. But because of his trust in the Creator, trust in Hashem, trust in God, his bitachon, he remained calm and quiet despite of his very difficult experience in life. So now we move We have discussed about the 10 benefits of bitachon, and now we move to Rabbeinu Bakya's preview of the 7 chapters of the Sha'ar HaBitachon. So in chapter 1, we will discuss about what is the meaning of bitachon, or the Hebrew word for trust. So in chapter 2, it is all about a thought experiment that helped determine what criteria is required for one to trust another human being. So si Rabino Bakya, ipoprove niya sa atin how to that ang walang tao na makakapantay sa criteria ng pagiging worthy of trust except sa ating Creator, no? Kay Hashem. So in chapter 3, we will discuss why it's a mitzvah to trust God. A mitzvah is what they call, it is a compliance to the will of the Creator or His commandment, no? Yung kanyang mga utos, kapag sinunod natin or ginawa natin, yun ay tinatawag na mitzvah. So it will also explain the obligation to engage in some level of histadlut. Histadlut is the Hebrew word for effort. So despite the fact that we know that God provides everything that we need, we still have to do some effort for that matter. So chapter 4, it explores about the various areas of our lives where trust in God is really a requirement and it applies. In chapter 5 of the Sha'ar HaBitachon, or the gate of trust, the Rabbeinu Bakya will compare one person who has or doesn't have a bitachon in terms of their pursuit for their income or livelihood or their source of money. So in chapter 6, it discusses about one who sets a condition to the Creator, meaning gagawin lang niya yung gusto ng Creator kapag nasiserve yung gusto din niyang ibigay ng Creator sa kanya, no? So we'll discuss about that, no? That yung kasi yung ibang mga karamihan sa tao, no, na sila ay magsiserve lamang sa Creator kapag may nakukuha sila galing sa Creator. So then we'll have financial security if we devote himself to his service. So in chapter 7 of the Sha'ar HaBitachon, we will discuss the things that distracts a person in having complete trust in the Creator and those other matters. So Rabbeinu Bakya, our teacher, who lived 1,000 years ago, again, he was from Israel who went to Sephardi in the land of Spain during the exile of the Jews. So he will begin discussing in chapter 1 by saying that bitachon or trust in the Creator is a state of confidence, will bear you the state of confidence and peace of mind, knowing that someone will do what is best for you, and that is our Father, our Creator, who gave us life. So siya nagbibigay sa atin ng buhay, tsaka alam niya from the innermost up to the outermost of our self. So the two criteria for one to have bitachon on someone is that, number one, he knows that the person, or God for that matter, he trusts, knows what is best for him. And the second criteria is that he has the ability to act about it. So Rabbeinu Bakya is going to discuss in chapter 2 that having bitachon doesn't necessarily mean that you will get what you want in life. But you know that what you need is being provided by the Creator, because He created everything in this world. He knows what is best for each and every individual person. And as a person, not all what you think is best is actually best for you. So, but because you believe, you trust in Hashem, our Creator, you know that He knows what's best for you, then whatever transpires in your life you will realize that it is only also for your own good. So as we say in Hebrew, gamzo letova. This and this are also for the good. So we continue. Okay. So Rabino Bakya teaches that bitachon is minukat nefesh habitawak. So meaning to say, it's peace of mind for the person who really trusts in God. So our nefesh, the lowest part of our soul, is occupied with our urges, our desires, our physical aspirations in life. So that is why if we have menukat hanefesh, it is the ultimate peace that includes all other levels of the soul. So we learn in our Jewish studies that there are 5 levels of the soul, which constitutes the nefesh, which is the lowest. No? It's divided into 2. The nefesh habikamet, our animal soul. The nefesh ha'eloket, which is our divine soul. And going up, our roach, the spirit, and our neshama, our soul, the higher level of the soul, the kaya and the yichida, which is the more higher parts of the soul. We are talking about here is about the nefesh. Yung nefesh is the ultimate. If our nefesh has peace, then our entire being has also peace. So meaning to say, if your animal side, yung nefesh natin is at peace, if you have shalom, then your whole being is going to have peace. So he further teaches that it is important to have confidence to the one you trust. Either it's a person of authority who is recognized by you, that is worthy of your trust. You really have to have confidence, especially to the Creator who created the heavens, the earth, and all that is inside it. So this confidence is the essence of bitachon. The trustor is confident that the trustee is true to his word and will look after his welfare. So ganun tayo, no? So when we trust our God, we really know that He is looking after our welfare as our Father, as our Supreme Commander. So He always look after our welfare. Now again, He's not only referred as our Father, our King, but He gave us the commandment. Kaya sabi pa nga, He is also our commander, the giver of the commandments. So the trustor, meaning yung nagbibigay ng trust, no, ng bitachon, is confident siya. May kampante siya na yung binibigyan niya ng kanyang pananampalataya is will also look after sa kanyang mga pangangailangan, even if it is not promised from the start of whatever dealings na kanyang pinupuntahan kahit saan man sa buhay, ay siya ay nananalig, no? Because the Creator is the Creator of everything. So siya yung ultimate na makakabigay ng pangangailangan natin. You know, it's not really, sometimes we think that ano yung gusto nating makuha is yun yung need natin, but no, yung ating iniisip na pangangailangan natin is hindi the same with what is being seen by our Father in heaven. Kasi siya, nakikita niya vehu kaya, vehu hove, vehu yeye, nakikita niya yung yung simula, nakikita niya yung gitna, nakikita niya yung hulihan. So He definitely knows kung ano yung dapat na ibigay sa atin. Sometimes, akala natin hindi tayo napagbigyan niya, but it is just telling us that it is not yet the proper time. Maghintay pa tayo kung kailan talaga yung nararapat na panahon kung saan na kanyang ibigay kung ano talaga yung ating inihiling, no? It's just a matter of time. Walang prayers na nasasayang. It's just reserved, no? Binilagay niya lang doon sa tinatawag na lalagyan ng mga prayers, waiting for the right time na ipagkaloob niya yun. Kasi nga, para yun sa ating ikakabuti. No? Like a good parent. Di ba? Yung parents natin, nung bata pa tayo, sasabihin sa atin na hindi pwede yan, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yan. Akala natin na mali yung parent natin kasi nga hinihigpitan tayo. Pero hindi natin alam na sa unahan pala, alam na nila kung ano yung kasi na-experience na nila yon. It's like mas lalo na yung ating Father in Heaven, no? Kasi nga, siya nakikita niya lahat, eh. Yung parents nga natin, ang nakikita lang based on their experience. Kaya tayo dinidisiplina, tayo binibigyan ng mga, or hindi tayo pinagbibigyan sa mga gusto natin because they are looking for our welfare. Okay, so, ganun lang, no? So, there's a story about a wealthy Jewish man who lost his fortune. Nawala lahat sa kanya, no? Lahat ng yaman niya, milyon-milyon nawala sa kanya. Pero hindi niya gustong malaman nun yun ng mga ibang tao. Kasi nga, ayaw niya na hindi na humingi ng tulong sa kanya yung mga taong tinutulungan niya dati. Yun pala yung reason niya. Kaya hindi niya gustong malaman ng ibang tao na nawala na siyang pera. So what he did, he went to a lending person. Nanghiram siya ng pera. Humiram siya ng 2 milyon. Ganun ka bigat yung kanya, yung income niya dati, milyon-milyon eh. So, nanghiram din siya ng milyon. Then, sabi niya, in 2 years, babayaran ko din naman. However, sabi nung nagpapahiram, kailangan niya ng 10 katao na magiging garantor para i-release niya yung loan. Pero sabi naman nung nanghihiram, yung dating mayaman, sabi niya that I am doing this leshem shamayim, meaning I'm doing this for the sake of heaven. And later on, na-convince naman niya yung hinihiraman niya. Then, sabi niya, it will be God who will be your guarantor. Meaning, yung gagarantiya sa'yo, yung atin mismong creator. You know? So, 2 years after, yung nanghiram ng pera, dumating doon sa hiniraman niya. Sabi niya, bigyan mo pa ako ng additional 2 months kasi wala akong pera pa ngayon. Kaya yung yung hiniraman, akala niya hindi na siya mababayaran. Sabi niya, nag-pray siya sa ating creator, no? Pray siya kay God. Sabi niya, hindi na ako nangangailangan ng bayad. Ang gusto ko lang na yung anak ko na matagal na walang husband ay bigyan yun ng husband and I will consider it as a payment. So after 3 weeks, talagang nagkatotoo yung prayer niya. His daughter got engaged and he also have a considerable amount of investment, return ng kanyang investment. Nagnegosyo siya eh. So, umabot rin ng 2 milyon, meaning na-recover niya yung pera niya. So, when the borrower came with the payment, no, the lender refused to accept. Kasi sabi niya, binayaran na ako ni God, no? Binayaran ako ng Creator. Sobra-sobra pa nga. Yan na-engage yung anak ko, nakasal na, tapos yung pera, naging income din naman ng business ko. So, ang nangyari, because there is what we call the Jewish court, no? Meron tayong bet team in Israel. So, yun, dinala nila yung kaso nila. Ang kaso nila, yung background there is sinong tatanggap nung pera. Kasi yung isa, ayaw nang tumanggap. Yung isa naman, ayaw rin na hindi niya mabayaran yung kanyang utang. Kasi nga, it is it is unrighteous kung hindi mo babayaran yung utang mo kasi yun nga, it is kindness na binigay ng tao. So, dapat, kung magkakapera ka naman, dapat babayaran mo talaga yun. So, yung problema ng dalawang Jewish na hinawakan natin. Kasi, karamihan nga, gusto lang magpabayad, kaya nagpapalitigit. Pero ito naman, na gustong hindi magpabayad kasi kaya nagpalit tigit sa korte. So, what happened was the judge ruled, no? Nag-rule naman sila in the end of the case na the money should be returned to the creator. So, yung money na yun, ginamit ng dalawang panig sa pagtulong ng ibang nangangailangan, nasauli din naman nila yung kanilang pera doon sa mismong pinagmulan ng lahat ng biyaya sa mundo, ang ating Creator. The one and only true God, the God of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, the God of Israel, the Creator of heaven and earth, the one of true